lost one in here, lost another one in there, lost one back here, lost three here. Don't let that tree fool you. It's hanging over the water. Lost two here, and to top it all off, I lost one here. Welcome back to Fireman Up Disc Golf. As you see, we're out here at Jones Park in Decatur, Texas. We're going to get a little throwing in today. As you can tell by that intro, it was a pretty interesting month, a pretty rough month, but also an awesome month. One of the reasons why we're out here today is I got some new discs. I don't have them in my bag yet, but you can see how wiped out my bag was. We got to kind of hurry a little bit. That's why I'm out here pretty early, is the soccer fields will fill up pretty quick. And I don't know if you can see it, but the pickleball court's already pretty much full. This hole here is 243 feet. You can see the basket on the side of the hill there. Sidewalk here is all out of bounds. Today we're going to try a Clash Cinnamon. This one is a steady, and it's a 9.5 negative 1.52. So we're going to try that one. Then we're going to try out this vanilla. It's also a steady. It's 11.6 negative 2.1. Normally on this hole I usually throw a mid-range because of the hill. Anything usually over a mid-range, it rolls back down the hill, and my mid-range usually about within 10 feet of the basket. These, I got a feeling that they're going to be more stable since they're brand new. Before I lost a few of my discs, I actually purchased these to kind of just work into my bag and just play around with them in practice. So it wasn't anything really meant to just go straight into the bag. Oh, I got that one too much inside. Probably got to roll down the hill. Not bad for the first throws. That's why you don't throw a driver up a hill, because that baby rolled all the way down. I don't want to necessarily give myself too much credit and say I took a little power off of them. I think it was more the first throws in the morning. I just didn't put enough oomph into them. Kind of like that putt. Good way to start in the morning. Now, a lot of y'all know from my past videos that I throw a lot of MVP Axiom products. Not much Streamline. I would like to try out some of the Streamline. Being able to throw these Clash was something different I wanted to try. Again, like I've said in past videos, I'm not trying to fanboy the MVP Axiom thing. It's just what I started with and what I'm familiar with and feels good in the hand. I will say the plastic of these Clash feel really good, and I like the feel in the hand. So makes it nice, especially even to the cinnamon. Today I'm going to be throwing these not necessarily on holes I would normally throw 9s or 11s on, but I just want to kind of get the feel what they do and what I can manage with my low arm speed, being a beginner. This shot usually right here for me is about a 7 to 9 speed. I usually use a Rhythm or Insanity depending on what I'm feeling. And I usually put a smidgen of ante on it. Problem I usually get is sometimes I put too much ante on it and I'll wind up off to the right. But you got a Mando on the right, the basket's behind the fifth tree. So we're going to start out, I don't want to throw that in the grass, it's wet. We're going to start out with the cinnamon. We're going to put it on a little bit of ante, see if we can get it to come around that last tree. Now, I haven't thrown these on ante before, so we'll see what happens. Oh man, I put that on too much ante. I said I put it on too much ante. I had good ante positioning on it, but I pulled it around too far and pulled it around this tree or this pole too much. So had a good flight on it. Started coming out good. All right, let's try that with the vanilla. I have a feeling if I don't follow through enough with my arm that this one's gonna come out and fade pretty fast. Yeah, and that didn't even get any distance on it either. Still a little bit early in the morning, but yeah, that wanted to fade out fast. All right, so if you hear a lot of noise, we're getting over here next to the pickleball courts. Not too bad for the first time on an ante. See if we can get a putt on this one. Oh, little short. Getting better at my lines. Just got to get a little more power on it. Looks like we're going to catch this hole right before the sun hits us in the face. This is 329 feet. I know if I take this cinnamon, again, it feels really good, but I know if I take it and I throw it straight out, it's just going to fade hard for me. So on this one, I'm also going to put a little ante on it. The problem I have to be careful on is this branch right here in front of me, so I have to ante it and keep it low, but sometimes I'm a little more wider on my ante, as you saw on the first time I threw this one. Oh, man, I let go of that one way too early. That did not go well. That went on the other hole. There you go, that's a little better. Just in comparison, here's my Vanish. Vanish is 11.5, -3.2. Oh, good tree. All right, since we're just kind of out here throwing, trying to see what those discs will do, that one I actually threw onto the next fairway, so I just wanted to grab it real quick. This vanilla I threw out of bounds. It's actually on the concrete. But what I like to do is practice my up shots anyway. So I'm going to take the watt, see if I can get me. Can't really get a straight shot. Trees kind of in my way. All right. And we're going to try the Envy. Put a little more hyzer on it. Not too bad. Left them a little short. All right. I was going to talk a little bit down there on the park bench, but with everybody playing pickleball and they didn't want to compete with everybody talking. Last month also came with some good moments. On the first choice course that I always play, I call it my home course. I actually won an MA3 league tournament there. And out here at Jones, I actually played 2 double matches. And 1 double match, we took second for MA3 in the doubles. One of them was a draw dubs, and we still shot a -1, which was pretty cool. And then I got to play on 4 new courses around the area. Plus, I played on a course in Iowa. We were on a business trip, which was another reason why I'm a little behind on these videos. I was on a business trip last week. Got to play at a really nice college course up there in Iowa, right outside Council Bluffs, Omaha. So I had a great month, but just Jones. I played 6 rounds of Jones and lost. I think I lost 8 discs. 2 discs, I think 10 in all. 2 of them I left on. Like 1 I left in Council Bluffs, Iowa, and then 1 I left on a course, a new course. It's one of those things that we've all probably done or will do, and that is you wind up coming to a hole you really like, and you start chunking your whole bag. And then next thing you know, you get home and realize that you didn't pick up everything you chunked. And that's what happened to me. And it happened to be my limited edition trail, so that kind of hurt. I did pick up another trail. Doesn't fly anything like the first trail I had. So I might have to beat that one in. 244 feet. You can see the basket off to the right. This Mando pole right here. This one's a little tricky for me. So this is definitely not a hole I would take the cinnamon or the vanilla for. But again, I'm just trying to learning what different shapes I can do with this, and just something I want to put in my bag. So I'm going to put a little ante on there and see if I can get it to fade back to the basket. Let's try the cinnamon first. There's part of me that wants to just stand in this corner and hyzer it since I do a standstill. I might do that. I'm going to stand right here. I hit the Mando. That's why you don't stand there on the corner. I can't get it past. Hey, the one nice thing is I'm beating in that disc, I guess. All right, let's go with what I originally said. We're going to Mando around it. Oh, I like it. Woo! I think that's parked. Now, of course, if you go off your first shot, freaking hit the Mando. The one nice thing is it fell in front of the Mando, so I didn't miss the Mando, and I'd have an upshot from there, but we're not going to upshot it from there. All right, we're going to go back with our original plan. Second try. Now, the one nice thing about it is, you know, that this is a par, which is great. The problem is, it's not really that great on this course because these 6 holes we're playing are pretty misleading. And the reason why they're misleading is because 9 holes have water that come into play, which you saw in the intro. So you really want to pick up your birdies here. That's the bummer thing about an overstable disc on Annie. It's a beautiful shot, and it's a shot I use a lot, and that's how I get distance on these drivers and stuff they say don't use as beginners. A lot of my distance come from those. Problem is when you miss pretty good. That wasn't bad. I was still able to pick up par, but man, sometimes you miss. Man, you'll be 60 feet, 70 feet from the basket. Bad thing is the sun's right in my eyes. The good thing is it's not in your eyes. I know a lot of people are going to be saying, well, you shouldn't be throwing anything over a 7 or blah, 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 since you're a beginner. I don't necessarily disagree with it. And most of the time I play 7 and below on my disc, especially in tournaments and stuff. But I also think there's some cool little shot shapes you can get with some distance drivers or some fairway drivers that you can't really get up to speed. You can really get some cool shot shapes. And that, I think a lot of it has to do with just go to a field. I mean, for like 3 weeks straight until football started up, I went out to a football field almost every day and just threw for about an hour and just worked on my disc. Unfortunately, most of those discs are gone now because that's just the progression of disc golf. You either beat them in too much, or like out in those trees there's a lot of water and they're in the bottom of the water. All right, so we're going to start off with the cinnamon again. They're showing 396 feet to that basket. Put a little bit of an ante on it just to get a little distance, because I know if I throw it out, this is pretty stable and it's just going to fade hard. Yeah, didn't get that much ante on it. It's going right for that ditch. Ooh, not much distance at all. It's not one of my bigger distances. Usually I get out a little bit past the fence is what I'm trying for. We'll try with the vanilla. Oh, I let go of that. That's in the field. Oh, that was a pretty good hike. All right. As much as I would like to say I did that on purpose to show you that what I was just talking about, that when you miss an ante with an overstable disc, it'll go crazy. And that one went crazy. We're going to try that one again. I didn't do it on purpose. There we go. That's better. Oh, this is a tough upshot because I've thrown it over the hill before and it's just rolled all the way down to the next baseball field. So we'll see. I think that's going to roll down the hill. The only time this is OB is on the last hole. So it's not OB. Let's see if we can put this proxy on a little bit of an ante and get it to just sit down. Yeah, not hard enough, but it's not a bad shot. Ooh, we'll take that putt. See the basket up there on the side of the hill? This fence line going all the way down is out of bounds on the left. Sidewalk and beyond is out of bounds. I'm going to take this one and try to go out over the foul pole. Oh, oh. Well, I looked at him inbounds, but do you see what I mean? I mean, that was a driver, and when it hit, it probably hit about 3-4 foot from the basket, and it just rolled straight down. Unfortunately, I got a good roll, and it rolled back a little bit. So I am inbounds. We're going to do the same thing, not quite go out as far with the cinnamon. Probably should have gone out further. Not bad. Maybe that's where you keep it from rolling, but yeah, it's a fun hole. Forgot to wipe off my putters. They're a little wet. Oh, too hard. Oh, off the top. Woo. Man, I gotta bring a towel to putt. Man, I am not doing good on this hole. Well, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today. Man, I appreciate y'all hanging out. Just a quick summary. I know some of y'all going, well, what's ahead of you? Well, what's ahead of me is 7. And the rest of the water holes, and I don't have enough disc to lose right now. I mean, in all reality, they'll make the bag just because my bag doesn't have enough disc in it right now, especially stable, because a lot of my stable ones are in the water. But I do like the cinnamon, so like, I'm sure if this beats in a little bit more, a little straighter for what I want it. I love the feel of it. The vanilla I like, but it's just a little bit uncontrollable. That's probably more of that beginner low arm speed type thing. I do like it, fun shots. So this will stay in my bag for now just to play around with since I have the room. But the cinnamon I'd probably use like hole 1, hole 6. If you didn't really have the rollaway potential or you needed a good hyzer around a tree or something, the cinnamon would actually work pretty good, especially if you need a little more distance, because I have an Insanity that is well beat in. I've got it beat in enough where it'll fly straight for me. So having the cinnamon to be a little bit overstable will work good for me on some of those hyzer shots that I need. As far as vanilla, again, it'd be more plain. I do love the feel of them. I love the plastic. Somebody said that, you know, if you're looking at plastic and you're an MVP fan, that Clash and Castoplast are 2 to look at because they have really good plastic. And I will say they do. And this vanilla's got a little bit of a pop top to it. Cinnamon, not really a pop top, but it's not flat. Man, it's amazing when you deplete a bag. 10 disc in 1 month. But it was an awesome month. I won an MA3 league tournament, which was a lot of fun. I played a bunch of new courses, been trying to add new courses every month, work on different shot shapes at different courses, a lot of fun. I haven't practiced much into my net or on the football field just because I've been playing a lot of courses, and again, football's back in Texas and you're not going to be able to get on the field. I'm surprised that the soccer fields up here aren't packed yet. My watch died. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, like I always say, if you made it this far, you might as well like and subscribe. Let me know what disc you'd like to see me try to throw around a little bit. When you lose 10 discs though, whoo, I can't get them all back at one time. So I got to slowly start replacing. So if you got any ideas, or hey, any of those companies, wink, wink, I could use some more discs. So I'll be working on that. And when I do get the new disc, I'll start doing some videos on it. As a beginner, you know, if you've been playing 2, 3, 4 months, your form feels like it's coming around, your disc is coming around a little bit, you know, try stuff a little more stable. I've had so much fun this month just working stuff on Anheuser and stuff like that. So I'm going to kind of fine tune that a little bit. Well, I'm going to end it there, guys. I appreciate all the support everybody's giving me. I love all the comments and everything. I try to answer all the comments I can, but it's just been a blast. Sorry, I'm a week behind on videos. Had the business trip and all that. Not going to make excuses. But we'll get those rolling again, especially now that I got to get a bunch of new discs. And like I always say, make a great day.